feet. And then they crush the skull very quickly, because this guy's got more power there than a Rottweiler dog there. This is my remote control switch for the medieval air conditioning. Would you stop it? What? And these guys are fully grown at 6 weeks old. Longest legs are. Any girl's got legs that long, see me later. I'm going to show you now how I trained him to look after himself. And that way, if they ever want to go, if they ever want to leave me, they can. He's not letting go, is he?
Hi, I'm Janelle. I've been traveling internationally for the last 20 years, connecting with cultures and finding sustainable adventures, especially scuba diving. This year, I'm showing you my hometown of Utah, from the deep southern deserts to the high Uinta Mountains, with a sprinkling of hidden gems from around the world. Be sure to subscribe and become a part of the culture trekking community. Oh, and share it with your friends. More the merrier. Today I am taking you to Dunrobin Castle, where we will be joining the Falconry show there. The North Coast 500 is a 516-mile scenic route around the north coast of Scotland, starting and ending at Inverness Castle. The route is also known as the NC500 and was launched in 2015, so it's fairly new. It links the many features in the Northern Highlands of Scotland in one touring route, and I'm telling you, it is gorgeous and not very many tourists. If you haven't watched my video yet on Dunrobin Castle, please check it out in the upper right hand corner link. It's a pretty good one because I got to do an interview with the manager of Dunrobin Castle, and he told me all about the history, what the castle has been used for, how they're improving it, and how he was personally able to raise his own daughters there. So for those who don't know, falconry is actually the ancient art of hunting with birds of prey. The birds that are located at this castle were actually rescues that were healed and then given to the castle from zoos and things like that. So none of these are captured from the wild. If you happen to be at Dunrobin Castle between April and September, go out to the castle lawn at 11:30 or 2:30 and you can see golden eagles, peregrine falcons, which are both resident birds in the Scottish Highlands. You can learn about other local birds of prey like the European eagle owl and hawks. The falconer demonstrates and explains the different hunting methods used by owls, hawks, and falcons. It was originally developed as a means of hunting fast for difficult prey like rabbits, because food is very scarce in the Highlands. So I cannot say enough good things about this show.
The chase, and of course pheasants have got 12 babies now. If you kill the parents, you've killed the babies. So we wait till nature's time, which is the winter, when there's a surplus. Then one of them babies will make it to next year. That's another 12. The rest are insurance. That's when we choose to go hunting, when there's a surplus. Let's get him over your heads again. Anyway, this guy goes hunting every day. I can't stop him. Every morning he disappears and he patrols the grounds because this guy thinks he owns this territory. In France, these guys have a title they're called the Grand Duke, Le Grand Duke. And he's in competition with the Grand Duke up there. He thinks he owns it. He knows he owns it. In fact, the only way you can tell them apart is one is handsome and can fly. Anyway, every morning he disappears. Sometimes he brings me a present and he puts it on the wall in the form of a rat. I think he goes to the pig farm across the road. I don't know where he goes to get them, but it's a present for me. On 2 occasions, the rat's gone meow. Are you missing a cat? Don't worry, you'll get another one. Everybody does. So this guy's very, very gentle with people. These feathers on his head are just to get a girlfriend. Remember that, they're not ears. His left ear is there, up there, and his right one down there. Did you know that about these guys? Different. Have you ever seen an owl do this with their head? They learned that from me. Triangulating sound. This guy can hear up to 300 meters away, and he'll bob his head and he's pinpointing distance and height on a vertical and a horizontal plane with his different shaped ears, different angles. And he can pinpoint noise in long grass without seeing what it is. He can just hear it there. And then he'll fly in that direction, land in a high tree, look down, it will see him, and then this kicks in. And he says, I can hear that from 20 feet away. Damn good hearing. 30 times more efficient hearing than a human. If it was a nocturnal owl with dark eyes and a complete disc like a barn owl, 50 times. Remember, this guy is mainly daytime active. You'd be amazed how many people say to me every day, I thought owls only came out at night. I say, who told you this? Walt Disney. Or I saw it on telly. Anyway, if you go out there, remember Scotland, it doesn't go dark in the summer. I've got to get down here. He's trying to beat me, can you see? So I'll turn into Michael Jackson and trick him. So remember, he's a top predator, but if you keep them full of food, they don't kill for nothing. The only things on planet Earth that kills for nothing are people, foxes, cats, for fun. And other than that, these guys will kill for territorial dispute or if they need food. Other than that, they're very, very gentle. They're as gentle as they look pretty. His eyes are massive, by the way. They're tubular. We've got round balls for eyes. He's got tubes, so they don't move in the sockets. And he's got to rotate his head instead of his eye sockets. So this guy can turn his head, not 360. Are you school teachers listening? 270. Anyway, let's get it back this way. So his 14 vertebrae in his neck give him all that rotation, and he moves ever so slowly because he always pretends he's not there. He becomes invisible when he's in the tree with his camouflage. It's a great way of hunting. He's got no sense of smell. He's got no olfactory glands like a human. He relies on taste to spit it out. He very, very quickly spits meat out he doesn't like. He's got a tiny brain. Remember, 80% of that skull area, 80% are eye sockets. So a tiny little brain. We've got a big brain. 3 pound it weighs of mush. Some people use half of it, apparently. This guy uses all his. Let's get him back over your cedar. So his wingspan is 2 meters. The female is a little bit more. It's about another 200 centimeters wider. And a little owl weighs 4 ounces, that big. And he thinks they're cute but edible. Because birds of prey, that's why the female's 1/3 bigger. Come breeding time, if they were the same size, there'd be a fight and they'd eat each other. But she's dominant, she's bigger, so she can repel him come breeding time. She chooses which partner she has. So all these birds are singing to attract a female. Because they're going to do the pick. It's the same with birds of prey. Now, I'm going to get him back on this post here, and I want you to see that them big eyes are not really that useful close up, because he can't see there. The wise old owl is always caricatured with glasses on. Now, let me get you a cedar, please. So I'm going to put some small pieces of meat below his feet. Now, in the UK, we call these eagle owls because they're eagle-sized owls. And I've told you in France they're called the Grand Duke, le Grand Duke. If you go to Spain or Italy, they're royal. They're called Goufforial, Royal or Burial. They're royal. If you go to Central Europe, that's his. That's all they get. Well, this guy is multilingual, so today we're going to do this in German. Go back, please. Go back. So I'm going to put 4 pieces here. I'll just put them down below him, and then I'll have to put my finger near them so he can find them. Now, I'll just tell him those 4. It's just a little wiggle of my finger should help him find these. He can see it's my finger. Feet. Can you see what he has to do? This is him reading Harry Potter. Right, he's going to go to this corner post over here now and demonstrate to everybody how the European eagle owl goes hunting. First of all, you can tell when he's seriously hunting because he takes up this position for hours. On a very rare occasion, you'll see him do this. Mainly this. And then he pretends he's part of the tree. He's a branch. And he moves his head very slowly, as I said, 270 degrees, watching and listening. And he's in the top of the tree. The rabbits all come out below him and say, what a lovely day. Would you believe it's not raining in Scotland? Come on out, and they all come out to feed, and he's sat in the tree going, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And then he does a deadly silent glide, because the rabbits have got big ears, he doesn't make a noise. They can't see him, they don't know he's there, so he's invisible and he comes out of nowhere. And yet they can see things very fast and very clear. But they can't see this guy because he fixes his wings and he glides. He doesn't flap them when he's coming in from the top of the tree. Cedar. Now he's just eaten chicken McNugget. Anyway, these chickens, on a serious note, I don't kill them. I have to remind people of this every day because people follow me around after and say, Andy, why'd you kill all them chickens? You kill them. You eat too many cakes. You need eggs for cakes, don't you? Your fault. That's the waste product of your cake system. Anyway, but that's where they're from, just from egg product. Now, I'm going to show you that this guy isn't really as big as he looks. He's a lot of feathers. He's got very, very deep plumage. If I put my finger in the back of his neck, that disappears. Can you see that? So what you must never do with this guy is ruin his day by stroking his feathers. If you do this, you take off the shine. Can you see how healthy he is? Very, very healthy. And this is waterproofing. If you do this, it comes straight off. Like a butterfly or a moth. You won't touch their wing. So, anyway, but I'm not ready yet. Hang on. Let's just put this furniture on first. He knows he's got his vitamin tablet in there. And that's coming next. He's been fed once this morning, I'm just topping him up now. And if I keep him topped up, he's very gentle. Now, if you get your free hand and you wave to somebody, there's a recordable noise. If you see a butterfly go by, to you and me, it seems silent, but it's actually flapping, making a noise. This guy should make a noise as he slides through the air. But he's got a very special feather on the end of his wing called a silencer primary feather. So the webbing on the end of his feather stands forward like this, and as he glides through the air, his wings are this shape and this shape to channel air underneath. That gives him an extended glide. And as he cuts through the air, the leading edge of his feather vibrates and chops up noise. And then transfers it to the tip of his primary feather, which has a marginated edge, to take it round and away. Very, very special. So he doesn't need speed. He isn't fast anyway, because his feathers are so soft. If he tries to go fast, they just bend. But he doesn't need speed. Now remember, the heaviest flying bird species in the world weighs 40 pounds. He weighs 5 pounds. And the heaviest flying bird species in the world has got a 2-metre wingspan, just like him. Now people get confused. When I say the heaviest flying bird, they start thinking of things with 3-metre wingspans, like albatross and condor and eagles. But the heaviest flying bird species in the world is a game bird called a great or corry bustard. Not buzzard, bustard. It's like a big capercaillie but prettier and more edible. And these guys just land on their head as they're walking by, come at the tree, grab them, and then they crush their skull very quickly, because this guy's got more power there than a Rottweiler dog there. He weighs 5 pounds. How does he do this? He's got a very special ratchet system on his sinews, so he can maintain pressure, click, and then add a bit more, and then a bit more, and then a bit more. And relax his muscles in between. We can't do that. If we relax our muscle, it's gone. If a dog relaxes it back, gone. This guy can just keep increasing more. If we had the power to weight ratio of this guy, we could crush trees. So he's very powerful. But I'm going to ask him to show you this very special feather. Because he's so big, we can see the leading edge of the feather with our naked eye. With a smaller owl, of course, you need a magnifying. Well, this guy, we can see it with the loss and renewal of that feather when there's an explosion of baby rabbits. Because all the baby rabbits are very stupid, and they sit in the middle of the field and say, what a lovely day. Would something please eat me right now? So he does that for 4 weeks, and then they're grown back in 4 weeks. And then all the other rabbits have learned to run that are still around. Let's get all the way down here so you can see this wonderful weapon. Remember, we've applied that idea to many of our own inventions, haven't we? All the latest jet fighters have got a serrated edge on their wing now. And all the latest wind turbine blades have got a serrated edge to make them quieter. So it's all from this guy. We've learned a lot. This is my remote control switch for the medieval air conditioning. It's also a very good midge repellent. Now, in my... Ow! It's just bit me. Ow! Stop it. Ow! Would you stop it? What? You've been in the freezer for 6 months. Is that good? Do you think you could fit something else in there? Do you think... I'm just putting the air conditioning on again. Are you sure you could fit something else in there? And these guys are fully grown at 6 weeks old. This is a Harris hawk from the Americas. Now you find these guys in North America, Central America and South America. Big range. You don't find them in Scotland because it's far too hot here for them. 2 people listening. Now as he's coming down to my glove, he's actually making a flapping noise that rabbits can hear. They can't hear the eagle, but this guy does make a noise. We can't hear it, we've got rubbish hearing. But this guy, as he's going through the air, there's a noise. And about 3 metres away, the rabbit can hear it and then dive for cover if they don't see them coming. Now, hawks have got very long legs. They need long legs because mainly they catch things on the ground in deep cover, rabbits, so they've got to reach all the way in. I'll get him back down on my glove and show you how long his legs are. Now, this is how long his legs are. Any girls got legs that long, see me later. So if you saw his skeletal form, you would say that's not a hawk, that's a dinosaur. It's a raptor. And he's got a small body, very long legs with a Z-shaped leg with great big feet on the end, a long thin neck and a great big skull. Again big eye sockets. 60% of this guy's skull is eye sockets. His brain is tiny also, but it works. And these guys learn lessons first time, for life. So when you're training them, if you make a mistake, if you give them any bad habits, it's for life, your fault. They start with a clean sheet like children, and they turn out after what you put into them. Let's get down here a little bit further down. So far so good, he's not unloaded on the way over. Anyway, this guy can turn his tail 90 degrees, can you see that? So you can zip round trees, chasing squirrels, anything in tight cover. The next one is a falcon, and a falcon has got narrow wings, a hawk, broad wings. A falcon has got short legs, a hawk, long legs. A falcon has got hard, stiff feathers, a hawk, bendy feathers. Can you see this? That enables him to crash into the hedge, jump back out, and then spring back into shape. If the falcon crashes into the hedge, snaps feathers off. Because if you want to go fast, you've got to have hard feathers that keep the shape and form of you as you fly. If you've got soft feathers, they bend out to shape at a certain speed. This guy can fly 45 miles per hour. The average rabbit can run 35 miles per hour. So it should be advantageous to him. But rabbits are very clever. Rabbits know that hawks take 4 seconds to hit top speed. So all the rabbits are always next to the edge of the field, 3 seconds from cover. And they see a hawk coming and they do that and run back in. Unless they're 4 seconds from cover, then they never do that. They just get the hell in there. But this is nature's balance. If this guy could catch anything he wanted to, any time he wanted to, there'd be nothing left. Can you hear the birds in the garden singing happily? This 5 acres is full of nests. Down near the hawks down there, there's 3 nests right next to their perches. A wren's nest, 2 blackbirds' nests, in fact 4, and a starling's nest. And they know in here these guys are playing because I overfeed them. And they keep away wild birds of prey which are not playing, they'll eat them. So these guys are territorial but protect the other birds in here by just chasing the other ones away, which are a threat. And the birds around here are very clever to learn that. So it's not just birds of prey that are clever, all birds are clever. I live there, I've got all the breeding chambers next to my house, I've got cameras on every breeding chamber, I can see as they grow, and these guys grow from egg to full size in 6 weeks. I've just been feeding a 1-week-old peregrine falcon chick before I came out here, and I put a 3-week-old peregrine chick back with a parent. So I know these guys from egg to full size. Now you can get their parents imported from different countries from zoos. This is what we do. And they're generally disabled adults, so they've been hit by cars, so they've had a wing amputee. They can't look after themselves, but they can breed. And then you breed healthy offspring, like these guys. But then you've got to teach them what their parents would teach them in the wild. That is how to look after themselves. Because they don't know, they've got to learn from their parents in the wild. Now at 6 weeks old they're fully grown. In the wild they then start to follow their parents around for tuition for another 6 weeks. Then, at a total age of 12 weeks old or 3 months old, their parents say, that's all you're going to get from me, go away or I'll kill you. And their parents hit them and make them go. And they're saying, if you go now, you're equipped with all the knowledge to look after yourself. There's some territory down the hill there. And if you don't get there and take that territory for winter, that other nest, they've got 4 chicks, they'll take it. So it's a big rush to find somewhere to live and hold territory. Now, you have seen these tail feathers in Native American headdress before, even though he's being very rude and doing a mooning. They love these guys. There's no natural history of falconry in the Americas. The Europeans took falconry to the Americas 80 years ago, and it spread very, very quickly everywhere. Right, let's get back down here. Now, the real way to train them is you've got to build a bond with food. So at 12 weeks old, I can see on my cameras that their parents are chasing them around the breeding pen saying, get out of here before I kill you. So I'm going to rescue them from their parents. And then I build a bond with food. And I feed them every day on my glove for 2 weeks. And we build a bond with food, same as I do with my children and my grandchildren. In the hope that one day they'll look after me. With these guys, it's a guarantee, after 2 weeks, they'll look after you for 20 years. Guaranteed. Anyway, let me get him back here. Not quite ready. No. Once I've built that bond around food, I can go for a walk and they will follow me everywhere and learn to fly. And at the same time as following me everywhere, they see rabbits on the other side of the wall, which are on the menu, but they don't know that. And they completely ignore them. So I've got to teach them to chase their dinner and look after themselves. So what I do is I make toy rabbits for them to play with. I get a roll of carpet, I roll it up to a rabbit size, so it doesn't look like a rabbit, but I tie chicken McNugget to the back and a piece of string to the front. And then all I have to do is run around the gardens with it at 35 miles an hour to simulate a rabbit. And this guy learns to chase his dinner. Now, pretty soon I start making it 1 degree more difficult. I start hiding the toy rabbit in the hedges around the gardens where you'd find a real rabbit hiding. And then I spring it on him as we're walking round. As he's following me from tree to tree, I rush away with it and it comes out of nowhere. And he comes streaking at the tree, grabs the toy, gets the reward. Pretty soon, he forgets about me every time we go around the garden. He's watching all the cover, wondering where the next toy's going to spring from. He's developed a thing called rapid response reaction. Have you heard of this? You all have it if somebody tries to steal your remote control. And that can make up half of 1 second. Remember the 4-second rule with the rabbit? This guy can now make it 3.5 seconds. And if the rabbit is 3.5 seconds from cover instead of 4 or 3, he's got a chance, hasn't he? This is what we call nature's balance. So once he's got to this stage and he's like a coil spring, I progress to the real thing, rabbits. I take him beyond the trees over there where all the rabbits are in the field. The only problem is when I go in them fields, for some strange reason, all the rabbits run for cover. So my dogs have to come and help. I've got 4 trained dogs. And they run with me and they run through the hedge as I walk along and they flush out rabbits. And the rabbits streak across the field 35 miles an hour, and this guy, before he even knows what's happening, he's come down and grabbed the rabbit. And he sat with the rabbit the first time he caught one 12 years ago, and he said, Andy, where the hell's the chicken McNugget? I said, it's here in my bag. He said, this is a great game, I'll get you another one. This we call falconry. And this is how we've practiced falconry for 4,000 years. What he learned very quickly is these rabbits are very tasty because I ran in and I dispatched the rabbit. In the wild, there's nobody to do that for you. There's a battle which lasts about 15 minutes. And an average rabbit weighs 4 or 5 pounds, 1.5 pounds. This guy gets a kicking every time he fights for his life. It's like you and me going on the hill and catching a stag every day for your dinner. You get a kicking. I've done it twice. Never do it again. I helped them to get to a fence. They were stuck. I shouldn't have done that. I come off worse. Not ready. Anyway, but this guy learned very, very quickly, when he catches rabbits, if you're there and Andy's with you, he ends it very quickly and you don't get injured. Now, on many occasions in his first year when we were hunting, this guy had many injuries because he didn't learn to hold them right. He had to learn all these things. And on one occasion, he was off work for 6 weeks. I had to carry him home in my arms. He'd have been dead. In fact, he'd have been dead many times since, too. He gets dragged through hedges, through fences, all sorts of injuries. And then he's got me, the medic, to take him home and treat him. And what he's learned is never go hunting without the medic. And all you do is you give him a bit of rabbit in return, he's happy. So, let's get him back down to my glove. I'm going to show you now how I train him to look after himself. And that way, if they ever want to go, if they ever want to leave me, they can. They can look after themselves. They never have, they probably never will. You'd never say never, but it's never happened. And I'm 105 years old now. But I need you to go back to the elm tree. I'm now going to run with his toy 35 miles an hour. Now, he's got the toy rabbit. He's not letting go, is he? And he's looking around everywhere because these guys in the wild, the harrisawks in the Americas, have learned to hunt in communal groups of 8 or 10 together, and it makes them very successful. Most birds of prey hunt singly, individually, or in a bonded breeding pair. These guys do it in a team. They're very intelligent and they accept me as a team member. And when I go down there, what he'll do is he'll drag it towards me and say, Andy, would you help? And you can have some. So what he's saying is, Andy, if you help me with this rabbit, you can have some. And I'm saying to him, I don't need your help, I've got some. You can have some of mine. And now I've got to get it back off him, he's got to let go. That's the tricky bit. Once they grab, they lock on. But he decided he'd have my help, thank you. Now remember, there's a very special relationship going on here. You may have heard of this if you're married. It's called master and servant. Yes, he's the master. He doesn't need me. I've got to give him everything he asks for every minute of every day, and then he decides he'll stay with me. If he doesn't want to, he can just go. I can't stop him. So you're going to work very hard at this relationship. It's not like a dog where you've got them on a lead, or the equestrian world where you've got them locked in a paddock or something like that. These, if you put most of the horses that people have on a prairie, you'll never see them again. And they're domestically bred. And of course, my granddaughters are in the equestrian world professionally, and my daughter was. And they, at Christmas time, people would send them a present in the form of a crop. Have you heard of a crop? Mm-hmm. It's to whack them with. So we'd send them straight back. So we don't need them, thank you. We can understand them. We don't beat them because we're stupid. You see little girls at these stables and they're hitting the horse with crop saying, you stupid animal. And of course they're the stupid one for not understanding what it's trying to tell them. And if you started that with these guys, you would never see them again. They would leave you instantly. No, I'm going to put this guy down and carry on with a falcon. But of course you can see he's got big broad wings, and when he was flying over your head, just like the eagle owl, he was gliding, wasn't he? Now we call these guys sailors because they sail by. And we call the next one I'm going to fly, which is a falcon, rowers, because they've got to clip their wings to keep going. So they roll their wings and these guys glide and sail by. Now, before I put you down, 1 second, could I just switch you off for a second and calm you down? Now, I'm going to put this guy down and bring out the next one. Remember, hawks have got broad wings. So hawk in German, das ist Harvey. Harvey in Dutch. Harvey. In Italy is Astori.
I don't want to spoil the whole show for you, but if you are at Dunrobin Castle, be sure to go and see the Falconry show. We had a pretty packed schedule on our trip through the northern coast of Scotland, so we ended up leaving a little early and going to explore the cairns and different historical sites throughout the Northern Highlands. Be sure to check those out, along with things to see in Edinburgh. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and share with a friend. See you in the next one.